Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barbies and Ken, Kellys of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my wonderful co-host. Don't play innocent with me. This has your mark all over it. I was willing to overlook the exploding cupcakes at tea and the skunk at the embassy hall. I even made excuses when you hid the Prime Minister's teeth.
Only his uppers.
Jay. We also have a returning guest with us this week, Emma.
Hello.
For those of you joining us, we are a podcast about Barbie movies. Every week we watch one of the straight-to-DVD animated Barbie movies, and we rate its story, characters, animation, voice acting, and music to see how it stacks up. This week we'll be talking about the 23rd animated Barbie movie, and a redo of one of our favorites, Barbie, the Princess and the Pauper. But this is Popstar.
Popstar, yes.
For this week.
I wrote that down incorrectly.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the 23. We made it to 23. And yeah, now we're talking about one that is closely related to another one we talked about.
Odd choice.
Yep. Definitely a bit odd. Emma, you haven't seen Princess and the Pauper recently, or at least as recently as us.
Yeah, not recently, no. I did recognize the song, though, from that they stole from it.
Yep.
Do they still a song?
Yeah, to be a
princess is to whatever.
Da.
They changed some of the words, I think, but.
You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. No wonder why I was bopping at that song.
It's like, oh, finally a good song.
It's like, oh, this song is killer. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, we'll obviously be talking about that when we get to the music, but this Princess and the Popstar was released on August 10, 2012. It was actually released in theaters, and then a month later on DVD. And it was directed again by Ezekiel Norton, going by Zeke Norton in the credits here. He directed Princess Charm School, which was actually coincidentally the last episode we had Emma on for. And then it is written by two new writers, new to the Barbie series, Stephen Granite and Sydney Clark. And they're TV writers. They also worked on X-Men Evolution, Lego Friends, and 3-2-1 Penguins. And the music is by Rebecca Newell and Gabriel Mann. They did the music for Perfect Christmas and several of the upcoming Barbie movies. So we're kind of in this movie seeing the teams swap off back and forth again. We had that for a bit earlier with the Fairytopia movies. Now we have Zeke Norton and some new writers, and also the score being done by different people. So yeah, we also have this movie. This movie has original songs as well. They are with lyrics by Amy Powers, Gabriel Mann, and Rob Hudnut, who Amy Powers and Rob Hudnut have done lyrics for these movies before. So yeah, the story is based on Prince and the Pauper, and also takes some inspiration from the previous Barbie adaptation of that story. But we have Tori, who's the princess, and she's the princess of Mirabella, which sounds like a name, but it's a kingdom. And Tori wants a life outside of the palace, and she has this magic hairbrush which instantly transforms her hair. And she's kept watch over by her aunt, Duchess Amelia, who's sort of the stern royal figure here. And then we also have Kira, who's a pop star, and she just happens to be performing in the country for their 500th anniversary. And she longs for a simpler life without the glitz and glam of being a pop star. She also coincidentally has a magic microphone that instantly transforms her outfit, not her hair, but her outfit. And then her manager is a former child star named Kreider, who secretly longs for the spotlight.
Secretly?
Well, yeah.
Secretly.
It's secret from Kira, not from the audience.
You sure it's not just that Kira doesn't care enough to notice?
Maybe. That might be the case.
You're just
Yeah.
never around to notice.
True.
But yeah, Tori and Kira meet up one day at the palace, and they use their magical items to transform each other to look like each other.
Where they got said magical items, we have no clue.
Oh no, that's never explained. There's not even a throwaway line. It's just kind of an established
Yeah,
fact
they like
of this
related
world.
in some way because they both have similar magic items, or are they common, or
Why Kira has a portrait of the royal family in her trailer,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be paralleling how Tori has the cutout of Kira, but
Well, yeah, but why?
yeah, it's kind of odd. But yeah, anyway, they strike it off well. They become fast friends, and Tori shows Kira the royal secret, which is a gardenia that grows diamonds in the middle of the palace in a room that reminded me of the room in the Dune book. That's just kind of in the middle of the palace with this like giant water feature. Anyway,
Similar text, of course.
yes, very very similar. This is based on Prince and the Pauper, but also Frank Herbert's Dune. You can definitely see the influences there. But anyway, while Tori is showing Kira these diamonds, Amelia is giving Kreider a tour of the palace, and she hears the girls and goes to investigate, but Kreider follows and discovers this magic gardenia. So, wonder what's going to happen there. But anyway, Tori and Kira decide to switch places for the day, and Tori kind of explores the kingdom freely and discovers that a recent drought has left many of her subjects impoverished. But before they can switch back, Amelia locks Kira in Tori's room, and Tori tries to stall for time but must eventually go out on stage as Kira. And while everyone is distracted by the concert, Kreider sneaks into the palace and steals the gardenia. But when he does this, the plants all around the kingdom start to wilt, so Tori sees this and makes her way to the palace, and she and Kira switch back to their places and stop Kreider. He drops the gardenia into the ocean, and so they have to replant some of the diamonds to make it grow back and save the kingdom. And Tori promises to improve the situation of the people, and then Tori and Kira perform together on stage.
And they continue this for the rest of their lives as a touring group.
Apparently, or something. Yeah, it's... I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's a less compelling version of this story than the first time around.
What?
Wow. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
It is closer to the original in that they decide to switch places because they want to experience the other side, versus in Princess and the Pauper, it was out of necessity.
Yeah.
The princess was missing. We had to put in a fake one.
Yeah. And that change, I think, could have been interesting, but the movie kind of gets sidetracked in this whole Kreider evil villain plot line.
Oh, evil villain. He's just a poor child actor, child star who, got mishandled by Disney.
Yes.
And then once he became a teenager, they just fired him.
Yeah.
The sad tale of everyone.
Yeah, what's his line? Like, I peaked at 14.
I was a has-been at 14.
Yes, I was a has-been at 14.
Yeah.
Yep, that's one lesson to learn from this movie. It can be too late.
Yeah, no. Reflecting Peter Pan with the Chippendale film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even the chipmunk theme.
Honestly, this guy here should have been voiced by Will Arnett. It looks exactly like him.
Yeah, that would be a very different way to take the voice because he has a sort of Hollywood.
Right. Imagine. What was a has-been at 14? We can't do Will Arnett because it's,
Yeah, I'm not even going to try because I don't think I could do it.
you can probably splice footage from BoJack Horseman into this.
But yeah, in addition to this sort of like awkward subplot that doesn't really go anywhere, well, it does go somewhere, but
It brings conflict.
yeah. But the songs just aren't as well integrated here.
As in,
As in the Princess and the Pauper.
as in,
Oh, I see. As in they don't tie into the story as nicely. Like this feels less like a traditional musical where the characters sing about their feelings and more like a oh, here's a song because it's time for a song. And then here's
Because I'm a pop artist and I sing for a
yeah.
living, so this is a song.
And then like no one except for the two main characters get songs. Like why didn't Kreider have a song? Why didn't Amelia have a song?
so essentially this is a biopic.
Sure.
Musician biopic that will
Yeah.
play songs when they think of it.
Yeah. There was such intentionality with the music in Princess and the Pauper that here is just like, oh, time for a song.
Oh yeah, the transition to the song.
Yeah.
Unless they were on stage ready to perform was very noticeable.
Yeah.
For other reasons than just the transition. It's not the same voice either.
Yeah, that was a bigger issue here than it has been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Very
we'll have to
noticeable.
talk about that
We shall.
later on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there were a few things that I liked here. I think the class critique, sort of this Tori specifically is just like completely unaware of what's going on in her kingdom. So I thought it was interesting how that played out. It doesn't reflect well on her father, but that will say for the character.
It does not. No.
And I do like the dynamic between Tori and Kira, how they admire each other, but they also are kind of like they want each other's lives, or what they imagine each other's lives to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that leads to an interesting dynamic, and I wish the movie had focused on that a little more and maybe not so much on Kreider and Amelia, who doesn't actually end up doing anything.
Yeah, that's true. Because he basically seduces her and then finds out about the diamonds, and then she's just not part of the story.
Yeah, I thought
like even the seduction didn't really get much, Like she wasn't the one who showed him the diamond tree.
Yeah, I thought they were setting up some kind of team up.
Nah, instead she just goes to the concert at the end.
Yeah.
She locks Kiara in the room and goes to the concert.
Yeah. Like, you could imagine a version of this where, like, Amelia is manipulating Kreider to, like, steal the diamonds and then blame it on the king so that she gets put in charge. And then Tori and Kira have to...
Or she'll rescue the diamonds at the end and be the hero or something.
Yeah. So something more for her to do than just, like...
Be the bad guy and...
Well, not... She isn't even the...
Be the bad guy to Tori.
Yeah, be the bad caretaker.
Bad caretaker.
Yeah, the strict caretaker.
Also, like, the bad manager never came into... Like, not manager, like was it the CEO of the label or whatever?
He recorded the show.
Yeah, that's like the only role he had. There wasn't really... Him being bad didn't play a part in anything.
No, the way they set him up was just so odd.
Yeah.
Because you have...
I was like,
You
ooh,
have-
the big bad guy.
He's cast in shadow in a silhouette that makes him look like Kingpin. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Kingpin's in this? But no.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. If like you watched the first 20 minutes of this movie and had to say, okay, who's the big bad of this movie? I don't think you would go with Kreider. Because you have Amelia, you have what's his name? I have his name here. Limburger,
Mm-hmm.
who have both been kind of set up as the villains. But no, it's like, oh, Kreider wants the diamonds, so I guess that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, no, the film was missing its Preminger.
Yeah. Which Kreider was kind of a Preminger, but not at that level.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't get a song. That's the thing, is like you need a song for these villains. So they can say, this is who I am, this is what I want. I was a chipmunk once and then I got laughed at and now I am
Oh, that'd have been nice, like, character introduction as well, because if we see his music is actually good,
or alternately his
or
music
that his
is
music
actually
is actually bad,
bad.
that would add some.
I
Yeah.
reached puberty, and now I can't sing no more.
Yeah. There are so many directions they could have taken this that I think would have worked better. But also, I mean, I'm willing to cut them some slack because this is the writer's first Barbie movie, so it's like they're still trying to find their feet.
I don't know whose idea it was to just do a copy of a story they already did before. For how
I
many
think-
times now?
Yeah, because when did that one come out? It came out in 2004.
Yeah.
So I think it's honestly just like that was their most popular. I mean, I don't know what, I don't have access to the Barbie.
I get that, but it's still like such an odd choice.
Yeah, I just think they were trying to cash in on Princess of the Pauper, and you can't really do a. There's no obvious sequel to that one,
Mm-hmm.
and also they've been moving away from the like fantasy stuff.
That's where we got a Popstar.
Yep.
Popstar, magical brushes and microphones, fairies. No fantasy here.
Nope.
No. No noticeable family.
Yep.
Was she an orphan?
Her mom? Or no, was
The pop star?
Yeah,
oh,
the Popstar.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's just not important.
Nah.
Her parents aren't worth mentioning.
She's just tired of working so hard on being a pop star.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, it is hard work to.
Right.
But yeah, some of the, because that is something that I think, if we go to the class critique, this movie misses, is that there isn't a class difference between the two of them.
No, there's not. They're both at high regard.
Yeah.
She can just come to the palace.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it works fine, but it is missing that, that little bit extra from the first time they did this story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I gave the story a 3 out of 5. It's not terrible. It works for what it is, but
Yeah, I also gave it a 3. One, it's just a retelling, and just an okay retelling. There's nothing to really dislike about it, but it just doesn't push itself too far. They don't even have an explanation for their magical abilities.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I mean, nothing super great about it, and then some of the plot points were like, okay, but they don't really tie in with the rest of it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's locked in her room. What does she do? Oh, there's a secret door.
that she ignores the dog as it's trying to
for 10 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of, we have the characters next.
Characters.
Tori, the way she's introduced is fun. She's a bit of a little stinker.
Mm.
And that she's just like constantly playing pranks and tried to have fun. And that's like, we've never seen that from a Barbie character. Like this sort of mischievous, I'm gonna change my aunt's hair to a mohawk.
Without her noticing.
Yeah. It's fun, but it doesn't really go anywhere.
No.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she kind of develops out of it towards the end where she starts to be more serious about the whole princess thing. So.
Yeah. And I think that's a positive development. But I kind of wish we had kept that little mischievous side throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Or seen it a bit in the end come to light, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't really have many thoughts on her here.
No.
Or honestly, Kira. She's kind of just the classic artist who has lost her spark.
Is that what her thing is? She's
Yeah,
lost her spark?
Because she can't write the songs anymore, but then she can later.
Okay.
And I mean that can be an interesting trope, but again, the movie doesn't really dive into it very much. It's just like, here's another element that we're not really gonna fully explore because we gotta talk
Switch
about
places.
Kreider.
And play with the kids.
Yeah. And figure out what Kreider's up to, because apparently he's more interesting.
They don't even figure it out. They just stumble upon him. It's like, hey, that's ours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thoughts on Tori or Kira?
I thought they were the best characters out in the movie.
Okay. Is that a good or a bad thing for the characters overall?
The way the characters were written, their interaction was great.
Yeah.
But their actual roundedness, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They don't have a ton of development. They aren't even necessarily all that different personality-wise.
Which is why they join together at the end to form a band.
I will say it was kind of interesting at the end where you could tell the difference between the two on stage, basically. What were the names again? Tori was like shyer and a bit more nervous, and then as soon as Kira gets on, she's confident and talking and like, oh hi crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a fair difference between them.
How did they know the song at the end? They just show up. Tori just creates this brand new song, and apparently, no. Kira wrote this brand new song for the kids. And apparently, Tori just learns it in 5 minutes.
Why not?
And to be fair, the songs are kind of repetitive and stuff, so I'm not surprised. I get it.
I can fly while they're floating on a freaking cloud. I don't know what's going on there. They're floating on a cloud.
The stage effects are just top notch.
They are top notch. Yeah, yes. The fact that she could be off axis to the microphone but sound perfect.
She's just lip syncing.
Yeah, they're lip syncing.
Some really good wireless mics.
Yes, yes.
It's a magical mic.
Why it's on a stand, I don't know.
The aesthetics.
It's wireless. Just hold it. It's handheld.
Speaking of performances, next up we have Kreider.
Yeah, Will Arnett.
Yep.
He was I think, too comical for me to like.
Too comical.
And not in the Preminger way, where he's like,
Like, he wasn't actually funny. He was trying to be funny, I felt like.
yeah.
Like, oh, he got the gum stuck to him and now he's angry and blah 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 or whatever.
I liked his tragic child star background,
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
but that was it. They didn't really do much with that.
Yeah, it never pays off. We never get to see him back in the chipmunk costume.
No. But, nope, that's a flying squirrel.
Yep.
We gotta talk about that sequence.
Yeah, the whole end of it is odd.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, we have Duchess Amelia, who gets a lot of build up for a character who goes absolutely nowhere.
Right.
As I was saying, I kind of wish she had been manipulating Kreider or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or had more to do with Kreider finding out about the tree or something.
Yeah. I think.
Having more connection to the plot.
Yeah.
Like, if that makes sense. Or moving the bad guys forward in the plot, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think she wasn't an annoying character, but that's mainly down to the voice acting.
Right. She didn't have much to do.
No, yeah.
And who else didn't have much to do?
King Frederick?
Who had nothing to do?
He
I
had
didn't
nothing.
even know he was a character to the concert. Where it's like, who's that guy sitting there?
It's Mr. Father.
Ah,
Yeah.
I thought Mr. Father was the other guy with Ken.
But yeah, he doesn't have anything to do, but at the same time, he's the worst character in the movie because he has mishandled this drought so much that despite having a flower that produces diamonds, his subjects are all in poverty. And he's also still spending a ton of money on this 500th anniversary celebration.
Do they live on the ocean?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a thing that the movie points out. This is entirely because you could easily see a situation where it's like, oh, it's Amelia who's in charge, and she's mishandling this entire situation because she doesn't care. But no, it's the dad who, from everything we see, is supposed to be a good person.
But he's never around.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
it's
not...
Tori's responsibility to manage the kingdom, not her father's.
That's why she's just a prankster. Because she's just going around, not doing anything. She doesn't have the father figure around.
But it's like he's not around because he's handling this drought crisis. He's clearly not handling it. And also there's a plant that makes diamonds.
He's probably hanging out with the other kingdom. It's like, hey man, I got this drought. Can I chill at your basement for a while?
Honestly, yeah. So,
two characters who aren't written down are the kids, the
kids,
sisters.
What about the puppies?
Oh,
we'll
no.
get to them.
We'll get to them.
Okay.
The one thing I like about the sisters is how they know that the Tori and Kira switched.
Yeah, that's their one good moment.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, they're just kind of also nothing characters.
They are nothing characters.
Yeah. Then we have Limburger, who I only bring up here because he looks like a fusion of the toy collector from Toy Story 2 and Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
And he kind of acts like a less extreme version of Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
Especially in his first scene. That's the only reason I think he is interesting as a character. I was wondering if there was any intentionality with that. But I don't think there was.
I guess that's just the stereotype. A big, balding guy with long hair.
Yep. Who's the manager or the corporate guy.
Mm-hmm.
who's yelling on the phone. They should have brought Tom Cruise in to play this part.
Can you imagine?
Tom Cruise and Will Arnett star in Barbie, Princess and the Popstar.
Oh man.
No.
When they do the live action remake.
We had the whole running scene with Lindbergh running to the stage and booking it.
Oh boy. He gets his one stunt. He zip lines between the castle and the concert hall.
Why did he do that when he has a wingsuit? Oh no, it was the other guy. That
No,
had a
no,
wingsuit.
yeah.
It's the other guy. Anyway, I gave the characters a 3.3.
Oh, before we do that, we should briefly mention the puppies, who are so bad. So superfluous. They don't do anything.
No. One noticed that there's a secret door.
Yes.
The other is British.
Is the other one British?
I think so.
Okay. Has a mohawk.
Yes.
That was all I wanted to say about the dogs, is that they are not great.
No.
Mm-hmm. They're there to have a friend, like enemies to lovers story.
No, they're just gone by the third act.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, I gave the characters a 3 out of 5 because yeah, they're fine.
I give it a 3.3.
I gave it a 2.
So yeah, next up we have the animation,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought this was really solid all around.
It's
No.
better than Perfect Christmas. Not quite at Charm Skull and
Yeah.
Mermaid Tale, but similar quality.
Yeah, I think the faces are very expressive,
Mm-hmm.
which sometimes the voices didn't match the faces, but it didn't bother me as much as in Perfect Christmas, where everyone looked like they were possessed.
Do you know what bothered me a lot?
What?
Their eye color changed so much in this
Oh.
film, from dark blue to light blue.
Huh.
And I think it's supposed to be a lighting intentionality, but the eye color would just switch, and there was no motivation for it.
Nice.
Like it would switch as they were looking down. It's like it's mostly dark blue, but as they look up, it's light blue. Or they look down, it's light blue.
Huh. I did not notice that.
It could be that their intention was to have the eye color be different for the two characters, but because they look alike, they mix the eyes.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I noticed that the entire time. Oh man, the eye color's changing. Why? I don't know. Why?
just
What
thought
is she? Why is she dressed up as Princess Peach?
For me, I felt like the animation was a bit stiff. Maybe that's just like the copy and pasting the dance moves for some of the scenes, or like the dresses didn't really. They were just solid circles, or what's the shape of the skirt? Whatever. Like the skirts were very solid looking, and I don't know.
How about that boat sinking? That thing went down quick.
It did. Yeah, honestly, none of that stuff bothered me too much, and I thought the performance scenes were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they're on stage, all of the lighting is good, the dancing is good, the way the stage works, and the like lights and the fog and the lasers. That was all fun.
And then you have Kreider, who gets a wingsuit, jumps onto a cliff. He's able to fly up and just hover in midair.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they switch him to wearing a giant dress.
Parachute dress.
That he parachutes down and is never heard from again.
That should have been the chipmunk.
Yeah, no, he should have swapped into a chipmunk suit and then like fallen onto the stage. and then like tried to sing, and that's the moment when you realize he can't sing, and everyone boos him off the stage, and then Tori and Kira perform again. But no.
No. What the dress with poofy hair?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, Tori contributed so much to that outfit change. It's like, oh, I'll completely get rid of his wingsuit. Okay, then I'll add a nice hairdo.
To be fair, if you had either a brush that could change your hair or a microphone that could change your clothes, which would you do?
Close. Well,
Clothes.
yeah.
Yeah, clothes.
Because like Kiara, you can just get a wig.
Yeah.
Do you ever see her real hair after that first time she takes off a wig?
No. And it's never brought up again.
That's a wig?
That is a wig, yeah.
Her real hair is brown.
Well, I saw that. It was like, why is her hair brown during this concert? I missed that. But, like, I thought she just dyed her hair. It's a wig. She's Hannah Montana.
Yes.
Why is her hair a wig? I don't know.
She's a pop star.
What's the importance of this?
Apparently nothing.
To show that the hair magic hairbrush can change wigs into other hair as well. Doesn't have to be your real hair.
Okay.
That's what they did, I guess.
Yeah.
Does it like wear off after a certain time or something?
No.
No.
Didn't seem
when
to.
she made her caretaker have the red braids or whatever.
Oh, good point.
Honestly, they probably have magic of their own.
Yeah. Maybe everyone has a magic hairbrush somewhere in a drawer.
Once you get like fame status, that you get granted a magical item.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, another thing I liked about the animation here is that Mirabella is a well-designed kingdom. Like, you have these levels, and it's a seaside cliff, and there's weird buildings and plants and stuff. And then you also have the fun of, like, the castle is up on a hill, and then, well, up on a cliff. And then the concert place is down by the harbor. And you can see both from each other. So it kind of, there's like a visual connection between the two characters and their lives, even from the very beginning. And it makes the balcony scenes kind of fun because they could kind of see each other from very, very far off.
Mm-hmm. So I gave the animation a 3.5.
I gave it a 4.5.
Good.
I liked it more than either of you, I think.
I gave it a 2.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't pay too much attention while I was watching it, and all I remembered was how stiff it was. So
yeah, that's fair. I'm also, as always, I'm giving this a little bit of leeway because it's a Barbie movie.
Of course.
So, but yeah, next up we have the voice acting, and Kelly Sheridan. She is still here.
Yeah,
and it's great to have her back. But I also felt like there was something maybe a bit off about her voice, and I don't know how to describe it. And I was curious if either of you felt the same way.
I didn't notice anything.
Okay.
I didn't notice anything. I'm bad at noticing things.
I think
the main thing I noticed was the singing voice was not at all.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
so.
I think that was what was getting me, was that we have Jennifer Warris playing the singing voice, not Melissa Lyons, and it just does not match at all.
It does not, no. You have her just giving this monologue, a pause, then she starts singing out of nowhere, and it's like, that's a completely different person.
Yeah. It's like, if you're not going to bring Melissa Lyons back, at least let Kelly Sheridan do the singing herself or something. Because she doesn't have to have a pop star voice.
Who's Jennifer Warres? Is she?
That's a good question. I should have looked this up before.
Yeah, because Tiffany Gardenias, she was a pop star, wasn't she?
Yes, and I'll actually there's some notes about that. So it looks like Jennifer Warres has 3 credits to her name. She did the singing voice for Barbie in A Perfect Christmas, the singing voice for Barbie in Princess and the Popstar,
Hmm.
and female vocalist in the TV series Dirty John.
Okay.
So that is who she is apparently. So yeah,
She's a
not a
songwriter, singer, and model, apparently.
okay.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, not nearly as well known as Tiffany Giardina, who is also known as Stalking Gia, who is an actual pop star, played the pop star singing voice here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you listened to any of her music?
Hers, no.
Okay. Because Emma and I were listening to some of her songs before this. They were fine.
Yeah.
They weren't as
As-
energetic as the ones in the Barbie
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Still
And
good.
Ashley Ball is returning as the secondary character.
Yep.
The second film in the row. Which
I-
good for her.
Yeah. I liked her performance better than Kelly Sheridan's performance, honestly. Though I think part of that is I think the voice fits a little bit better with the singing.
She's not trying to do it Australian this time.
Yep, that also helps. Though she did a good job with the Australian accent last time.
But no, she's getting off here. You know, she has her last film, then we have this film. She's doing great with ponies, and I believe the next year she's the lead voice in Littlest Pet Shop.
Oh, okay.
So she's getting work. Although I don't know why they didn't just have her sing. Because she's in a band. She's
Oh,
the lead
boy.
singer in a band.
Yeah, I don't know why these movies refuse to have their lead sing.
She can sing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not specifically pop star. That was still.
No idea.
I guess they wanted to have a big name.
Yeah.
Ish name. Big-ish. Stalking Gia.
Yeah. She has sort of like in the music we were listening to, she's sort of similar to Lorde. If you've ever listened to her. Oh yeah, next up on the voice cast we have Peter Clemaeus, who he's been around since Nutcracker, when he did the annoying bat.
Oh.
And I mean, he's fine here, but he can never live up to Martin Short as Preminger. Like, that's just kind of
Or be able to give the
impossible
proper image of the Will Arnett character design.
yeah. Yeah, he's giving a fine performance. Now, I did want to spotlight Ellie King, who she's a TV and voice actor who does stuff like the Earthsea miniseries and the Batwoman TV show and the Dragon Prince, the Netflix show. Here she plays Amelia, and she is just bathing in the river of ham. She is going for it in every single way. Every line reading is so much more extreme than the last, and it was so much fun every time she had a line reading. Like, there was a scene where it's Tori is giving the tour while she's also giving the tour, and you hear Amelia's voice before you see her, and it sounds like Tori is imitating her voice. That is how ridiculous this voice is, and it was so much fun.
Who was Amelia?
The evil aunt, lady.
Evil caretaker.
Oh, okay.
Just the sort of ridiculous, over the top.
Mm-hmm.
She was the standout for me here. We do have a lot of returning people here.
Mm-hmm.
Few new people, though none of them really stood out. The director plays Daniel. I don't remember who Daniel is. Is that the dog?
I have no
know.
clue.
I think it might be the dog.
See, who's the prince?
The prince is maybe the prince is Daniel, but I thought Prince Liam. That's Adrian Petru, who has played the Ken character before.
Yes.
So that would make sense. But yeah, I gave the voice acting a 4 out of 5.
I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well.
And so did I.
So we're all in agreement here.
Mm-hmm.
For once, I'm not bringing the score down.
Well, yeah. Next up, we have music. Which
Music.
let's start with the score itself and not the original songs.
I can't really comment on the score.
Yeah,
Didn't really
it's
notice
fine.
it.
Sometimes it's good. There's a few scenes where I was like, "Oh, this score is good." Then there were a few scenes, mostly involving the dogs, where I was like, "Oh, this score is bad." So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not really much to say there. The original songs we have more to say on, I think. And then we do also have some of the songs are not original, like the Perfect Day song, the one where the sun is rising at noon or midnight or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, first up we have Here I Am. That's the song that starts the movie.
Is that the again and again and again and again song?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's the one that they replay again later.
Yeah. They revisit a lot of these songs. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I think most of the songs are fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd listen to it on its own, like Princess and the Pauper, but
Yeah.
they're catchy.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of them were repetitive.
That's pop songs for you.
True.
Yeah, I think the next song is I Wish I Had Her Life, which isn't really my style, but it's fine.
No.
It's a good I Want song.
Sure.
Then we also have, this is later on, Look How High We Can Fly. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did like the Popstar half of the To Be a Princess / Popstar song.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it's updated it and making it more poppy. But that said, so does the princess half of the song, which I think kind of ruins it a little. Like, I wish they had kept, because they do change some of the lyrics and that's fine, but they also changed the style. I think it would have been cool if they kept the style for the To Be a Princess part. Do the sort of the regal, the orchestrated instruments, and then in the second half you switch to the more digital, the poppy stuff to kind of highlight the difference between the two.
Mm-hmm. It did feel like the pop star portion of that sounded a bit off to me. Maybe I was just used to the non-pop star version, but
Yeah.
it sounded a bit weird.
And yeah, they did change some of the lyrics.
And I didn't recognize it in the film. And so when I heard it, it's like, man, this kind of sounds all right. But knowing that it's from the other films, like, okay.
Yeah.
No wonder why I liked it.
I think the worst song in the movie is Princesses Just Wanna Have Fun.
Oh my gosh, a cover.
And not a good cover, because girls and princesses do not have the same number of syllables.
No.
What?
It was not good.
It was kind of also just in the background as well.
Yeah. And in the middle of Here I Am, which is a good song, a fine song, a fun song.
Mm-hmm.
And just like there's a disconnect to that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we've been saying, nothing is quite as good as Princess and the Pauper. Like even the good stuff.
But it's still alright on its own.
Yeah, yeah. If we were watching this first and Princess and the Pauper second, I think we'd be like, oh yeah, this is great. And then Princess and the Pauper would be like, oh, this is so much better. But no, we're doing it the other way around. So this has to compete with our high
Some other
esteem.
day we'll return to this.
Yep.
Or we're old, we have children, and then we're gonna die. We'll have to watch all these films again. It's like, no!
Maybe we could just talk about it again in our rankings and call that good.
Instead of telling war stories, we'll be sitting there it's like, I remember the day I watched this Barbie movie.
Podcast Wars of 2023.
This was when Kelly Sheridan left. Was the darkest day in Barbie history.
I mean, it was the darkest day in Barbie history, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave the music a 3.5 out of 5. It's fine.
So did I.
I gave it a 3.
Which leaves me with a total score of 17.3, which is a 69% or a 3.46 5-star rating.
Yep, and I gave it a total of 18, which is a 72% or a 3.6, which may be a bit high, but I like the animation and some of the stuff here.
Yeah.
And I think that gets it's still in the bottom half of my rankings, like pretty low. I think
mid.
No, I think it's actually like Fairytopia, like bottom 5 level.
It's mid for me.
Okay.
I gave it a 13 or 52%.
Which that leaves our overall score at a 16.1, which is a 64%. And yeah, that I think lands it pretty near the bottom of our rankings, kind of in the same area as Fairy Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Which this is probably better than Fairy Secret, but I would rather watch Fairy Secret again if I were going to rewatch one. I don't know. Fairy Secret was just fun.
But there's songs to waste time with in this one.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram, at Binging Barbie on Twitter, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd, where you can find an up-to-date list on our Barbie movie rankings. We will be back next week to talk about Barbie and the Pink Shoes. Ooh.
Yeah.
Alright. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.